today I have a very interesting reel. I found this reel on the bottom of Galveston Bay. It is a Shimano SLX XT. It's obviously been sitting there for some time, and I thought it might be kind of fun just to see if I could possibly take it apart and maybe salvage some of the pieces from it, or just to kind of take it apart and see what it looks like inside. So anyway, I don't know how long this thing's been sitting out there, but I was just fishing a couple of days ago, and the water was nice and clear. It was probably 2 feet, and I looked down and there was a rod and reel. So the rod was totally destroyed, and the reel is destroyed. But anyway, kind of thought this would be cool to go through and take this thing apart. So it's just like any other Shimano. I did take the little handle clasp off of here, and this stuff's not going to be easy to take off, and I don't really feel like I'm probably going to be able to salvage anything on here, but just never know. Like this thing is it's stuck. Well, that might be our answer to that question, but we'll see. And again, I am not doing this for any type of salvage. I think I've pretty much, oh no, it's coming off good. Let's see if this guy's even, it's probably all stripped out. It feels like it's stripped. Yeah, that just totally stripped that whole thing. All right, well, there's my first answer. The reel handle's not coming off. I can get that off though eventually. I could pry it off somehow. So anyway, that's that piece. If I can't get that off, then I'm kind of stuck. But let's see. Maybe I can strip it out so much that it just falls off. Okay, and I do have this vice grip here. Let's see. Okay, so that did strip out, but I'm okay with that. If this was a $500 reel, might be a little bit unhappy, but it's not. Oh wow, look at all this. This is great. So this is what saltwater does to a reel in reality. If the water's been sitting, who knows how long this has been in there, but it is a modern reel, so let's see here. Is it coming off? No. Not coming off, but that's okay. Still not too nervous about this because I can get to some of these things. So we got some of these little parts. Ah, look at that. Those things always fly out and they're nice to have. Might be able to clean that up in the ultrasonic cleaner. Some of these things I know I can clean up. So we got a really bad bearing in here, obviously. I'm not going to be able to get the cover off, the side piece off, if I can't get that, get this off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start kind of taking some of this crusty stuff off. I have no idea what these are. These things could be flesh-eating bacteria, and I have no idea. Whatever they are, they're dead. But they have been sitting on this this reel. I probably should have worn my gloves instead of just these little finger things, but oh well. A little satisfying also. Kind of prying this stuff off of here. Totally screwing everything else up. Screwing the finish up, but I don't think this is going to make much difference. Oh, this is a lefty too. I didn't even notice that. It's a lefty. Okay. So let's see. I wonder if I can get the spool out. Let's see what I got here that'll make this, maybe get this out. Oh, look at that. Now it might not come off with all this gunk. These have got to be some type of little tube-like animals. You can see, this is weird. They've got a little, like a little hole in them. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway. All right, so the spool is spinning. Let's see if I can get it out of there. It's got a lot of gunk on it, so now again, this isn't just a this is not a restoration video. This is a what happens video. Okay, and you can see all the aluminum actually itself is starting to corrode and just wear away. That's kind of cool. All right, let's see. These have got a pretty small tolerance anyway when you put them into the reel, so, or their body, so it's kind of difficult to, sometimes it's hard to get them in there, even if it's nice and clean. Now this seems to me like maybe something's stuck here. All right, let's go to the tools and see what I can do. All right, I'm just gonna pry that sucker off. It's kind of working. It's stuck in the pinion gear, it looks like. I think I'm getting it. Hate that side plate. There we go. Wow. Okay, so I got the spool off. Hey, we can reuse some of this what is this? Probably fins or something, who knows. So here's the spool, and you can tell how bad this thing is. It's got a lot of corrosion here, and I know how much these spools are. They're about 40 bucks to replace, so just replacing that thing alone is worth as much or half as much as this reel costs. So obviously no reason for that to try to replace this or restore this reel. Okay, so we got a couple of screws here on the back, and unfortunately, because I can't get this little nut off, I'm not going to be able to get this plate off. But I'm going to go ahead and try. Let's see if I can get this guy. Oh, look at that. Screw's actually coming out. Get one. I think we might have one on the front. Second one. Got two on the front. Pretty amazing. These screws are coming out pretty easily. So everything else is seized up. Making a huge mess on the bench, but oh well. I can clean that up. Okay, so got all the screws off that hold the side plate on, but the problem is that this side plate ain't coming off. Oh wow, it is coming off. That's hilarious. Okay, so pretty much the main shaft here just snapped from the actual case itself, and this is pretty gross. I wonder what little animal was living inside here. It's almost like dirt or something. It's not salt, but this is pretty gross. Okay, here's our pinion gear. Let's see if I can get that off. Look at that. All right. Get my little pry bar out. I know that will come off. Let's see, we'll use the old vice grips, see if I can get this thing off. Okay, so it is turning now. There we go. Got it off. All right, I'll move some of this junk out of the way. So here's the pinion gear, and this sucker is completely rusted. It's kind of nice to see that. Then the inside, the side plate, and this has got all the gears, the actual main gear. I might be able to pull this off from the back side. Let's see. I don't think that's gonna work. No, because you have to get this piece. This piece needs to be out. See if I can get this bearing out of here. No, that bearing is stuck for good. All right, so let's keep digging here. As you can see, we've got dirt and grime and all sorts of glunk in here. I think just to make a interesting video, I might actually put this in the ultrasonic cleaner just to clean up some of these parts to see how they fare. There we go, and I am going to dump this in my trash can and get a new little paper towel. Okay, so we still have screws that we can take off here. I'm going to go ahead and take off this little, I think this is like the clutch mount. It's a little thing that the pinion gear sits on, and it allows you to disengage the actual spool. Let's see here. This guy will even come out. Nope. Gotta do a little bit better than that. Oh, darn it. I did have it. Oops. Well, that just flew out of the way. That's a typical thing that happens with some of these reels, is that parts will fly all over the place. And if you have carpet or anything like that, and you've done this before, you know that the carpet just absorbs any type of small part, and it's kind of interesting that it's difficult to find anything. Okay, so we do have some parts here. Some screws. This little spring here that actually, when you press the button down, this is the spring that engages and disengages the clutch, more or less, that allows the spool to spin. So that's when you actually start casting, it opens the spool up. So that thing's broken. Looks like it just kind of rotted away. All right, what else we got here that we can take apart? Oh, okay, there we got a little something there. Let's see here. Okay, there's just screws all over the place here, so I'm just gonna unscrew all this stuff here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get this guy up. See if I can. Oh yeah, good. And this actually attaches to this button here, which it should have a screw on the back of it, and it does. It's kind of hard to get to, but I am gonna take this apart. I just had to order a couple of these little buttons the other day for a customer, and I can't remember how much it cost. Probably like $15, because that's seems like that's about it, what everything costs that's of any size on these reels. Okay, I don't think I got that out. There we go. It is turning. Cool. That's nice. So that's turning. That, and I can get that screw out of there and get the button. Take that button off of there. It's kind of hard to get my screwdriver in here because there's just not a lot of space. So if you're ever taking that button off, you have to have a smaller screwdriver. Okay, so here is one of those parts. Okay, so now we're good to go there. Let's see if I can take this out now. Okay, now that's coming out. There we go. That little piece is actually, that's actually not bad. And there's the button. So the button just fits like so. So I've taken a ton of stuff off of here. It's looking pretty good. I say good, it's just looking stripped pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start keep taking off. Oops, that was not gonna work. Start taking off these other screws, and you can tell here this one's kind of stripped. I think it's corroded actually. The part itself corroded. Let's see. Nope, it does not want to come off. Nope. All right, so that guy's coming off. That came off. Let's see. Pry this little thing off of here. And that's this whole piece here. And there's a bearing that sits in this. So I'm taking the entire plate off, and there's a bearing down in there. And that's pretty indicative of what saltwater will do to a bearing. Okay, so now we've got these the worm gear over here, and I'm gonna pull that clip off. There's that clip. Let's take this guy apart. Now we have this clip on the other side. This is really amazing. A lot of this stuff hasn't just completely deteriorated. Curious whose reel this was. I think I have salvage rights on it though. If it's in the water for a specific amount of time, I don't even know. Maybe someone out there will know. Okay, so we'll put take that off, the little cap. And here's the little pawl. There's always a washer or two. There's the pawl. My goodness, that is in great shape. Look at that. Thing is in fantastic shape. Can't even tell. All right, what else we got here? So I got to take this whole gear out anyway. Got another washer. There we go. Come on, let's get out of here. All right, now this goes out the opposite direction, goes this way. Ah, the worm gear already fell out. Look at that. Man, that's in good shape. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this stuff in the ultrasonic cleaner. I am curious as to how well this will get. These little parts will get clean. Again, this is not anything we're gonna recommend using again. I might be able to salvage some of these parts, but that would be really good considering these parts, sometimes they become discontinued and they could become really hard to find. You have to find them out on eBay generally. Shimano sometimes sells them, and that's really for any reel like this. Any reel that's not brand new or the latest model, that's not worth it, but I'm gonna throw it in there anyway. The pinion gear, I'm just gonna leave that out there. Anyway, some of these models, you know, they get discontinued, and then when they get discontinued, they will make the parts for a certain amount of time, I think. Don't hold me to that. Somebody on the Shimano side probably knows more about that than I do. But I know that I can find parts out there. In some cases, you know, this guy, he's still got a little creepy crawler on him. All right, I'll throw that in there. Guess I'll put the cap in there too. I'm not putting that pinion gear in there. There we go. Put that to the side. I just went and had an itch on my face. I just want to be careful what I don't want to get this stuff in my mouth. It's disgusting. Okay. Next thing is I'll take this little side plate off here. This houses the brakes. This is where the brakes for the reel sit. On the spool, it sits in here, and these brakes are set, and they clip the side of this little piece in here as they spin, and they'll slow it down, or if you have less brakes set, it actually will speed up the reel and or the spool, and then a lot of times you'll get backlashes if you have them set too loose. Okay, so let's see here. Is that going to come out? Yeah. Okay, so this little piece came out. I think that this should just be able to pop off. Oh, there's a screw in there. There's a screw for everything, it seems like. Wow, that's an interesting shot of these two bearings. I mean, those are pretty nasty bearings compared to one of these ceramic bearings. Big difference. And that's the same, this is the same size as this bearing right here. And this bearing is actually the same size as this bearing. So you could swap these out, but no use in doing that on this reel. Okay. Love to be able to get this bearing out of here, but don't know if that's going to work. I'd have to push it out real hard. Let's see. I'm not going to mess with it too terribly much. Nah, I'm not going to worry about it. All right. Got that piece done. So I need to get this little worm gear housing out. And that should come up through here. Look at that, worked perfect. Then I should have a little clip here. This holds that side plate on. Sometimes these are tough to get out, even if they're not destroyed like this. All right, try something different. This is generally the time when I fast forward or skip to a new chapter in the videos, because these things do get a little tedious, and I just don't want to bore everybody with me sitting there trying to get these things out of here. But you can tell in a lot of cases, there we go, got it. In a lot of cases, it's not easy to get these things off. But I say it's out of there. No. One more try. There we go. Okay, so now this thing should lift out. There we go. Okay, so I do have one more screw over here on the side. Get the other bigger screwdriver. If anybody needs a part for an SLX, send me an email. I'll be able to hook you up, and I might keep some of this stuff. Okay, so now we got this little guy. He should be able to come out pretty easily. Let's see. I say that because that piece really holds this little bar in place. There we go. It's got a lot of goop on it. A lot of those little crawly guys. There we go. Okay, so got that little piece off. There we go. Now we got the line guide piece off too. It's got a lot of gunk on it. Man, this thing is almost, the exception of that little screw right there. You know, I might be able to get that out. Now that I'm looking at it, maybe I could get a bigger flathead. It would be so rewarding just to get this screw out so I could say everything is off. I think it's coming off. Yep. Probably gonna destroy my screwdriver, but you know what? That's life. These little screwdrivers are $3. Okay, let's see if it's coming off. Yep, it's coming off. There we go. Okay, that's cool. So now I can say, oh, there's a bearing in there. That's nasty. This I'm probably going to use as a picture for what saltwater does to bearings. I can use all three of these. Okay. So it looks like pretty much everything's taken off of this reel, or the main frame of this SLX. Throw that over there. Now let's take a look at this guy. Side piece. Yeah, I don't know if this is I'm even going to be able to get. So this is where the drag washers are. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any of this off. You know, I might just throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner anyway, just to check it out. See if I can get that bearing out of there. All right, so I got this nice hammer here. Well, that didn't work. This little hammer is really nice, kind of comes in. Oh, look at that. Wow. Maybe it came in handy for something. Just pounding that out. Okay. So, what we got here is we have the little tension bolt that fits on the tension knob. Then you have the anti-reverse bearing. And the anti-reverse bearing is this thing here. And these things tend to corrode a little bit more frequently than you would hope. And they're not cheap. These are about 20 bucks. So what happens is when you're spinning the reel, this anti-reverse bearing doesn't allow for the reel to come back. So you spin and spin and spin, and you can't bring it back. So if you do start seeing when you're spinning, when you're reeling in, and there is some give, that's your anti-reverse bearing, or something in here is screwed up. Curious how these drag washers look. I think these are the junky drag washers that they put on these. Well, anyway, I'm going to clean all this up. I'm starting to actually get like dust in my nose and throat and from all this junk. I'm going to clean this table up. I'm going to throw this stuff in the ultrasonic cleaner just to see what it's going to look like. I bet it looks interesting. So we'll be back after that's done. Okay, so I'm back, and I got all of the parts out of the ultrasonic cleaner. I just threw things in there, and I just wanted to see. I haven't looked at these yet, but I got quite a bit of them out. And they actually don't look bad. As you can see, a lot of the dirt and grime came off. Let's see if I can get this bearing out of here. Now, there was so much grime in there I couldn't even see that I had one of these little clips in there. Guess I should have known that. So we'll try to see if I can push this out. Oh, look at that. I think that is coming out. I say that. It's not coming out. Oh, it is. Oh, so that bearing is coming out. Let's see how bad this looks. Oh yeah, that's the bearing is shot. Let's take a look at this bearing, see if I can get it out. Oh, I did. Got that bearing out. And this guy, I don't even know if I'm gonna try, but it's probably has a, it's got a little clamp in there too, or clip. I don't think that clip's gonna come out. Anyway, so the bearings actually did come out. This got cleaned up. I mean, this was okay. I could, you know, really scrub on this and get it looking nice, but really no reason to. You can see all the scoring here. Still a ton of stuff coming off of it. Then you got a bunch of kind of areas here where it's all kind of corroded and it's eating away. Then we have the little drag. This is starting to come, look at that. That's coming apart. So I could probably throw this in there for a little bit longer and do a little bit more work on it, but I don't really want to. Like some of the main things I wanted to look at were the little parts. So some of these look okay. Yeah, like these little tiny parts here. These look pretty good. The little handle nut holder, not bad. The clutch, the little clutch thing here holds the button on. That could be just polished out. Worm gear looks fine. That other button, I mean, I wouldn't want to put this on a new reel, but if you needed a part that you couldn't find, it's not bad. A lot of nice little parts. And then let's see what else we got over here. Just this stuff. So anyway, this is what it looks like after the ultrasonic cleaner, and it looks good. It really does. The ultrasonic cleaner did a good job doing what it's supposed to do, which is clean these parts up. There's just so much it can do, though. Only so far that it can go. So I would estimate, I don't know, maybe this thing was in there for 6 months, maybe 3 months. Who knows how long it was underwater, but it's kind of interesting to just take something apart like this and to where you can actually see what the saltwater will do to a reel if you just leave it in there for a little while. So am I going to do anything with this reel? No. If someone lost a SLX, I think it's the SLX XT Shimano, and this is a 151 HG, so this is going to be a left-hander. If someone lost this in the West Galveston Bay, yeah, maybe this is yours. Be kind of interesting to be able to hear back from somebody. So anyway, that's all I wanted to show you is just kind of what it looked like if it had been in the water for that long. And you know, if you found a if you dropped your rod in the water and found it a couple months later, what would it look like? And it probably looked similar to this. So anyway, I've got a couple more videos coming your way here soon, and you know, as you can hit the like button and subscribe to the video. Also, you can go out to my website. I'm at Fischer Angling Pro, Fischer Angling Pro, and that's how I spell my last name. FischerAnglingPro.com. I do all sorts of reel repair, just regular service maintenance, upgrades, things like that. So thanks for watching, and hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you the next time.